Hello everyone, my name is Leanne and today is day 4 of our split challenge. And today's focus will be all about outer hips and our back. And so we want to increase our outer hip flexibility and strength because that's what's really going to help us stay stable and our hips squared off in a split versus like collapsing to one side when you're splitting and the hips are scissoring open. We really want to strengthen the outer hips and glutes to keep everything squared. And as for our backs, there is actually a slight back bend that occurs when we're in a split. As our back leg is hyperextended behind us, it does create that curve. So we want to make sure that our back is nice and strong and protected so that we don't strain our backs while practicing split. And so before we begin, feel free to grab for 2 blocks to have by your mat. If you don't have blocks, you can use 2 books or anything that's going to be hard and sturdy for you. And we'll go ahead and get started. We'll get started in a tabletop. Place your hands down for tabletop pose, shoulders and wrists stack, hips over knees, and wrap your lower belly in. Start to extend your right leg long behind you with your right knee bent and start to curl or open your hip out to the right. So right knee points to the right, and then hook right knee towards your right tricep and then circle your right knee down. That will be 1 circle. Kick up, over to the right, circle down. That's 2, up, around, and down for 3. Try to keep your left hip squared for 4. Last 1, and reverse. So now you'll bring your right knee towards your right tricep, open the right knee out, lift your right heel up, and lower. That's 1, open out to the right first, kick up and down for 2, open up, kick up for 3, 2 more, open out to the right, kick up and down for 4, last 1 out, up and down for 5. Take your right knee and open it out to the right. So you're in this firefighter. I'll just face this way for a moment so you can see me. So my right knee lifts, right knee aligned to right hip, and then you lower. So that's 1. We'll do 10 together. Lift your right knee up, lower down. Lift and lower. Keep your belly in and lower. Let your left glute activate and lower. Feel the burn at the top. So when you lift, let your right glute squeeze and lower. 5 more. And 4 more. 3, 2. You'll hold at the top for 1. Right knee is lifted, pulse up and up. So you'll pulse up an inch, down an inch. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your right knee down. Switching sides. Take a moment, reset. Make sure your fingers are spread wide. Lower belly is in and start to kick your left leg up. Left knee is bent. Open out to the left. Circle down. That's 1. Up, around, and down for 2, 3, 4. Like you're moving through cement. Really create your own resistance and reverse your circles. Left tricep first. Open out to the left. Kick up. Down, around, circle it up. That's 2. Open up, kick for 3. Open up for 4. Last 1, open out, in up, lower down for 5. Take your left knee, open it out to the left and lower, up and down, lift and lower. Keep going. We're halfway, so 5 more, 4, be in any of the discomfort, 3, 2, hold at the top for 1, pulse it up, 7, 6, 5, keep your weight in your left hand, 3, 2, and 1, release. Circle your hips out in one direction, and then reverse the direction. Come back to stillness, curl your toes, lift your hips up for downward facing dog. lift and lower your heels. So that first round we did in tabletop, that was meant to help strengthen your outer hips, your glutes. And next we'll transition more into some stretching while also strengthening your outer hips, and we'll throw in some back work. Start to shift your gaze forward between your thumbs, walk your feet to your hands, top of your mat, and grab for opposite elbows for a ragdoll. Let your head hang heavy here. So if you're gazing at the floor, shift your gaze between your legs, weight is in your toes, and let the elbows be heavy. Notice if you're trying to keep them lifted, let them relax down towards the mat. We'll find some stillness here. Then release your hands down to the mat. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. Roll up to stand, one vertebra at a time. As you start to rise, circle your arms around and up to the ceiling and sit back for a chair pose. Weight is in your heels, lower belly is in. You'll bring your weight into your right foot and start to lift your left leg away from the mat. Figure 4 chair, hook your left ankle to your right knee. This is a deep balancing posture. So if you feel wobbly in this is normal and it's completely fine. You can have your hands up for a more advanced variation or hands to your heart space. The final option is you can even bring your hands down towards the floor or maybe even use your blocks underneath your hands if you find that the range of motion is a bit limited reaching towards the floor. Allow yourself to be supported in this pose as we really stretch out your outer left hip. Hips pull back, chest pulls forward. And stay here for another inhale. Maybe sink a little lower on the exhale. Start to rise up with your left knee towards your chest, arms up to the ceiling. Bring your hands towards your heart space. Start to kick your left leg behind you, warrior 3. Chest tilts forward, but we don't dump down. Left pinky toe dials down, belly is in. Hands can be at heart space or on blocks for a supported warrior 3. Look forward gently and press into your right big toe. High lunge pose. Step your left foot back, hips stay low, arms reach up. This will really help to fire up your right glute. Lower belly pulls in. Warrior 2. Hips will open. Right knee is bent. Left heel is grounded. Reach through your arms here and let your shoulders relax for a moment. Start to reach your right arm forward, 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 half moon pose. With or without a block, start to stack your shoulder and wrist as your left hip stacks open. Your left pinky toes face towards the left part of your chest spins up. So you're basically chest, thigh, and pinky toes are facing the left. Push into your right big toe and let the belly pull in. This is a lot of core strength. Warrior 2, step back with control. Stay low in the hips. Bring your hands towards your heart space. And side lunge to the back of your mat. Your right leg will lengthen and your left knee will bend. Now, when you take the side lunge, be mindful of your left knee not going significantly past your left toes. So we don't want to see this where like the left heel is up and my knee is just passed forward. We want to keep the left heel grounded and pull the hips back. So you have to be higher, be higher. If you can get lower, go ahead and do that. Look towards the front of your mat and side lunge to the front now. Right knee will bend, hips will pull back, left toes will lift. Your right toes can be at a slight angle, maybe more angled towards the left top corner of your mat. Kind of play around with it, see what feels okay in your body, and keep your chest lifted. Frame your right foot at the top of your mat in a low lunge, hands down. Kick your right leg up to the ceiling. So now you're in a nice 3-legged dog. You'll bend your right knee, point your right knee up to the ceiling, reach your right heel towards your left glute. Make sure your right armpit stays squared down. And make some knee circles here. Circle in one direction and reverse the direction. 3-legged dog, kick your right leg back up. Dial your right pinky toe down. Downward facing dog, right foot meets left. Rise onto your tippy toes, high plank pose. Round your spine forward, shoulders and wrists stack. Push the mat away from you, belly pulls in, and drop your knees towards the floor, lower down towards your stomach. Baby cobra. Press the tops of the feet into the mat, lift your chest forward and up, and actually hover your hands away from the mat and pull your shoulders down your back and lift forward with your chest. Squeeze your glutes, press the hip points down into the mat and lift your chest a little higher. And on your exhale, release your forehead to mat. Move back through a tabletop and into your downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out. Shift your gaze forward. Walk your feet to your hands, top of your mat, forward fold. Take a halfway lift, hands can be on the floor, shin bones or thighs, but the spine will lengthen. And exhale to fold. Chair pose, bend your knees, belly to thighs to begin, hips pull back. Then reach your arms forward and up, chest will rise, but the hips will stay nice and low. You'll hover your right leg this time, right leg lifts. Figure 4, right ankle, left knee. Flex your right foot, pull your hips back. Again, arms can be up at your heart space or down to the floor or on your blocks for support. Hips pull back, chest pulls forward. Breathe in and breathe out. Start to rise up with your right knee towards your chest, arms up to the ceiling. Bring your hands to your heart space, hinge forward, and kick your right leg back into your warrior 3. Let it be wobbly if it is. If it's not, enjoy the stability. Pull your belly in, dial the right pinky toe down, shoulders back. High lunge, start to bend the left knee, step the right foot back, arms up on your inhale. Sink nice and low on your exhale for your high lunge, but don't just sink, keep it active as the hips lower. Warrior 2, right heel grounds down, arms spread open. Check your left big toe to make sure you can see it. So in Warrior 2, just make sure your left knee is not keeping in to the right or out to the left. We want to stabilize it and get it to a point where you see just your left big toe. That's a good indicator. And start to reach your left arm forward, half moon pose. Left hand is away from the left foot. Option to use your block, right hip stacks open. Right arm reaches to the ceiling. If you'd like to make this harder, your left hand can hover away from the floor. Good. And Warrior 2, right foot steps back, keep the left knee bent. Draw your hands to your heart space, side lunge pose. Lengthen your left leg first, bend your right knee, pull your hips nice and back. Good, get nice and low. And side lunge to the front of your mat. Left knee will bend, right leg is long, hips are back. Low lunge, front of your mat, frame your left foot at the top, hands down. Kick your left leg up, 3-legged dog, and bend your left knee, open up your hip. So again, left knee points to the ceiling, left heel reaches towards your right glute, and make your knee circles in one direction and reverse the direction. 3-legged dog, kick your left leg back up, and downward dog, left foot lowers. Rise to your tippy toes, high plank pose. Find a nice stack and strong plank. Drop your knees down, lower down to your belly. Wing your arms long behind you this time. And we'll set up for a locust. Lift your chest and lift your legs. Point your toes, thighs lift, hands pull away from your mat. Look forward as the shoulders pull down your back. Point your toes and see if you can lift the tops of your thighs a little higher. Hip points press down, chest lifts a little higher, and exhale to release. Place your hands underneath your shoulder. Move through a tabletop. Lift your hips back up. Final pose will be your pigeon pose. Take your right knee, bring it towards your right wrist, and then bring your right heel to be above your left thigh. Start to walk your left knee back as the hips lower. And you can place a block underneath your hip for support as well. Start to fold over your right leg. Now, if you do have any knee sensitivities, if this pose is very uncomfortable to you, you'll go ahead and take this on your back as an alternative. Your right ankle will come to your left knee. This is still targeting your outer hip. So you can take this one or take your pigeon. We'll be here for about a few breaths. See if you can let your jaw relax, your forehead be at ease. Place your hands down and start to lift your chest back up. And bring your right knee back into a tabletop. If you're on your back, you'll just stay there and switch out your legs. So your left ankle will hook to your right knee. Now, if you're taking the pigeon on the mat, you'll bring your left knee to your left wrist. Left heel comes above your right thigh. Right knee will walk back. Start to lower over your left leg and settle in here. So notice if with this stillness, there's this temptation to want to run out of holding a posture. And I know even with like YouTube videos, the attention span can be a bit shorter. So poses like this, it's a very easy pose to just skip it and go to the next video. So I really want you to be in this pose and in this stretch and take this stillness, even if there is a temptation to leave it. And just be aware of where your mind tries to travel to. And see if there's anything you can let go of. We have about a few more breaths here. Place your hands down and lift your chest back up. And bring your left knee back into a tabletop. We'll meet in a seat. So if you're on your back, roll up to a seat. And there you have it. That is day 4 of the split challenge. Make sure to go do the next split video after this. So as part of the split challenge, I encourage everyone to practice split each day of the challenge. Part of getting your split is doing it, so don't skip that video. Please do your split today. And again, my name is Leanne. Please like and subscribe to my channel so you're in the notifications of when the next challenge comes out and any other yoga videos that I'll be releasing. Thank you. Namaste.